Scene opens with intense, cinematic music. Visuals are stark, dramatic close-ups, perhaps of chains, a Roman bust, then a modern, stressed face. His master, a cruel secretary to the Emperor Nero, started twisting his leg in a torture device. The man on the floor, a slave, calmly warned him, "You will break it." And then, with a sickening crack, the bone snapped. The slave looked up, without a single tear, and said, "I told you it would break." This slave's name was Epictetus, and the freedom he possessed in that moment is a freedom you've been denied your entire life. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how a crippled slave became one of the most powerful minds in Rome. Not theory, not dusty philosophy you can't use. I'm giving you the keys to the only freedom that matters, the kind no one and nothing can ever take from you. We're not just learning about Stoicism, we are forging an unbreakable mind. Music shifts to a more thoughtful, steady tempo. Chapter 1, The Chains of Epictetus. It's Sunday night, 9 p.m., and you can feel it, right? That cold knot forming in your stomach. The weekend is over. Tomorrow, it's back to the cage. Back to the emails, the pointless meetings, the fluorescent lights. Back to that boss who seems to feed on your anxiety. You sit at your desk, and your life force just drains away. You're trading the best hours of your day, the best years of your life for a paycheck that barely covers the cost of the things you buy to distract you from how much you hate your job. You feel trapped, chained. You tell yourself it's just for now. You tell yourself you have no choice. And then, boom, an email lands at 9:30 p.m. The subject line, urgent. The project deadline has been moved up. Your whole week vaporized. Your heart starts pounding. The anger, the resentment, the feeling of complete powerlessness washes over you. Sound familiar? You think the chains are your job, your boss, your bills, but those are just the shadows on the cave wall. The ancient Stoics knew the truth. As Epictetus himself said, "It is not things that disturb us, but our judgments about things." Think about that for a second. The email didn't make you angry. Your judgment that the email is unfair, that your boss is a tyrant, that your life is a trap, that is what creates the suffering. You've been fighting the wrong enemy your entire life. You think the problem is the world outside, but you're looking at the wrong set of chains. Music swells, becomes more epic and energetic. Chapter 2, Fortune Favors the Virtuous. This is where everything changes. This is the secret that allowed a slave with a shattered leg to be freer than the Emperor of Rome. It's a principle so powerful, it's like being handed a cheat code for life. It's called the dichotomy of control. Epictetus's master could torture his body. He could break his leg. He could own his physical form. That was external. But he could not touch Epictetus's mind. He couldn't force him to cry. He couldn't force him to hate. He couldn't make him betray his own character. His will was his own. His virtue was his own. His choice of how to respond, that was his kingdom. And in that kingdom, he was the absolute ruler. Now, let's look at you. That email from your boss, the deadline change is external. It is completely, 100% outside of your control, just like the weather, just like traffic. You could spend the next 3 hours screaming at the sky about it, and it wouldn't change a single thing. It's a waste of the only thing you truly own, your energy, your attention. Stop. What you call a crisis, the Stoic calls a choice point. The untrained mind reads that email and immediately becomes a slave to it. It reacts with anger, with panic, with blame. It complains to friends. It does sloppy work fueled by resentment. It poisons its own evening with stress. It gives all its power away to an external event. The Stoic mind reads that email and draws a line in the sand, a sacred boundary. Epictetus laid it out perfectly. Some things are in our control and others not. Things in our control are opinion, pursuit, desire, aversion, and, in a word, whatever are our own actions. Things not in our control are body, property, reputation, command, and, in one word, whatever are not our own actions. Your boss's command is not in your control. Your actions are. Your boss's opinion of you is not in your control. Your opinion of yourself is. The deadline is not in your control. The quality of the work you do between now and that deadline is entirely within your control. This isn't about being a passive doormat. It's the exact opposite. It's about becoming surgically precise with your power. You stop wasting 100% of your precious energy on the 99% of things you cannot change, and you focus it all like a laser beam on the 1% you can. Your response, your character, your inner peace, that's the fortress. And when you defend that, nothing on the outside can ever truly conquer you. Music becomes calmer, more focused. Chapter 3. The Philosopher King Within. So how do we do this? Not in theory, right now, today. Here are 3 brutally simple exercises that will begin to rewire your brain for Stoic freedom. First, the circle of control. Tonight, before you go to bed, take out a piece of paper. Draw a large circle and a smaller one inside it. In the outer circle, I want you to write down everything about your job that you cannot control. Your boss's mood, the company's quarterly earnings, your colleague's promotion, the project deadline, everything. Now, in the inner circle, write down what you can control. Your attitude, the effort you put in, the time you arrive, your decision to update your resume, the choice to be honest, the choice to help a coworker. For the next 7 days, you are going to make a pact with yourself. You will focus every single ounce of your mental and emotional energy only on the items in that inner circle. Let the outer circle fade to noise. Second, premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils. It sounds dark, but it's an elixir for anxiety. For 5 minutes every morning, instead of scrolling through social media, sit in silence and imagine what you fear actually happens. Your boss fires you. Really visualize it. The awkward conversation, packing your desk, the drive home. Feel the sting of it. Then, play the tape forward. What would you actually do? You'd call your family. You'd update your resume. You'd go for a run. You'd look for a new job. You would survive. You would adapt. By confronting the worst-case scenario in your mind, you rob it of its power over you. You realize that you are far more resilient than your anxiety gives you credit for. You inoculate yourself against fate. Third, the Stoic pause. This one is a game changer. The next time something happens that triggers you, that infuriating email, that condescending comment in a meeting, you are going to install a circuit breaker in your mind. Before you speak, before you type, before you react, you will pause, just for 1 second. Take one deep breath, and in that sacred pause, you ask yourself one question. Will my intended response serve my highest self? Is it virtuous? Is it the action of the person I want to be? The weak react. The Stoic chooses. This pause is the space where your freedom lives. It's the gap between stimulus and response, where you take back control from your primitive brain and give it to your rational mind. Music shifts to an emotional, inspirational tone. You have to understand what this means. Epictetus was owned by another man. His body was property. His leg was broken on a whim. And yet, his mind was freer than the emperor's, because he knew the secret you now know. You are not your job title. You are not your bank account. You are not the opinion of your boss or your colleagues. Those are externals. They are fragile and fleeting. They can be taken from you in an instant. You are the fortress inside. You are the unshakable will. You are the director of your own mind. You are the power to choose virtue and calm and excellence, no matter what chaos the world throws at you. This is the shift. Life is no longer something that happens to you. You are no longer a victim of circumstance. You are a practitioner of a timeless art, armed with the tools of emperors and slaves who were kings in their own minds. You don't just face life's challenges, you happen to them. Music becomes confident, determined. What you learn today is the foundation. It's lesson 1 in the arsenal of the Stoic mind. It's the beginning. Subscribe, not because I'm asking you to. Subscribe because what you just learned is a weapon, and mastering your inner world is the only war that's worth fighting. This channel is your training ground. Next week, we go to war with your anger. We are unlike